Alright, there we go. Audio's working. Welcome back, everyone. Episode 12 of Season of Ghosts. As we continue along with the festival, the first long night, I believe. But you guys have done a lot more than just the festival last session, so who wants to do the recap for your extra hero point? Oops, excuse the double audio. I need to fix that.
Alright. Well, I'm ready for it if, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. So, things were somewhat calm. We woke up kind of transitioning into the fall, and in town saw our two town elders arguing, well, the primary elders, arguing about who should inherit the leadership of the village. And after some heated discussion, Yuga ended up in the position of governor of Willow Shore. For now. We'll see how long that lasts. But we repaired the tea house and began to hold meetings there as sort of a neutral ground where we can come to discuss things. We have a cat now, or at least the Cerulean Tea House does, called Yami, who's basically a part of the tea house now, and may have been either owned by its former owners or a companion of sorts. It's a very mysterious cat. It does not appear to be a spirit, but we're not entirely convinced that it's just a normal cat. Well, upon the advice of the elders, we assessed the condition of the village, and over the next few weeks, we began to prepare ourselves for the long winter, doing various activities, such as working the farms, training the militia, and scavenging for much-needed wood. We made plans to research the fog wall around the monastery, but we would do that after the upcoming festival of the first long night, which, after a few weeks, that started up. We've been doing some activities there. We had some good conversation with some villagers. We've been engaging in activities such as crafting lanterns and cutting bamboo mats and preparing for a performance that will cap off the evening. And that's more or less about all I could think of for it.
Very well. And with all of that being said, I believe there were some sort of minor things.
The snakes.
Oh yes, the snakes in the outhouse, certainly, which got you your cook for the tavern. I believe he's actually here in the festival grounds.
Oh, we also helped a young woman or a young boy make an offering to Daikitsu.
Yeah. I think it was he's a young boy. Okay. But, yeah, Shinzo also mentioned having something special for Liaodon if you ever wanted to go and have a look at what he was talking about over there. But, as I think we left off with Mr. Shugo slicing through some tatami mats pretty well, all things considered, with those sharp claws of his. Those, ceramic, sharpened, well, flayers, essentially. But with him succeeding above and beyond those guards there, they sort of bow to him for a moment. We are very thankful that you have come alive to protect our village. And while there's some that have been upset that you're not always here to defend it, we guards will we want to reward you, especially now that you've shown off so well. Yeah, one second, let me find it. Where did I put it? As he rummages through a pack. As I am rummaging through my stuff.
I believe the town will be in very good hands once we're busy with other things. Especially once we've shored up the security of the place more and helped you guys.
Yes, here. He brings both of his fists up and then opens them up and reveals two runes. On the left hand is a Ghost Touch rune, and on the right hand is the Striking Weapon rune. Well, the blue rune or the red rune? Which do you take?
Oh boy.
Shugo doesn't understand this reference.
I mean, it is a blue rune and a red rune.
This is a real rabbit hole you've opened up, huh?
That's funny. Shugo's gonna look over to Lyon for a second, thinking, why don't you give me one of this one? And he's gonna reach for the striking rune.
Okay. Ah, good choice. I suppose you already have a way to deal with ghosts yourself, being, adjacent as a spirit, don't you?
Shugo nods. I luckily haven't really had to use it yet. Most of the things we've dealt with haven't been ghosts.
Ah, yes, well... You are going to take on the wall of ghosts, aren't you? Perhaps soon enough you'll be dealing with something like that.
That's true. I should let our allies know about that as well, in retrospect. But
Alright.
thank you very much.
No, thank you. Just add a striking rune to your inventory.
Man, I wish I didn't buy that striking rune now.
Well, do you have one? You have one for yourself. I guess that means one for Leodon.
Yep, that's the idea.
But with all of that, I will say that concludes the first 2 hours of the festival. There's 4 more hours, and they're in 2-hour chunks. So keep that in mind for whatever activity you guys want to do. As we shift over to Baozin and Yuga real quick here, you both were trying your best with the lantern making. Yours, have little holes here and there because it's such delicate paper. You haven't been back in the paper mill with your father for quite a while now, and it shows, so...
But it was still really good to spend this quality time with family.
Of course, yes. As Wakamina, your father, finishes up his... I think actually there is one particular person who has one of the best here. Let me look real quick. I believe it was someone I didn't put down, actually. There we go. It was Yuaso Jin, the herbalist, the most long-lived person here in town, as much as the old Matsuki would detest it. Being an elf, of course, she has lived a longer life, quite a lot longer. And it seems that with it, patience is brought, and her lantern is this beautiful, elegant sort of formation of, sort of bent pieces of light wood that make it almost like a mushroom. It's quite delicate, but quite magnificent at the same time. And everyone agrees that Yoso Jin is the winner this year for the lantern-making contest.
I can't even be mad. That is gorgeous.
Well, I haven't won it every year, but I do try every year. Of course, you deserve your credit for what you've made. Everyone does here. And by the way, if you ever need extra help in your research, please do come by Graveside Manors. I know we have our differences because people, prefer to be buried in more traditional ways than at the Phrasmat Cathedral sometimes.
I would certainly take
we
you
will
up on that offer.
We definitely will. We definitely will.
Very well then. And we'll shift over to Liadon. What were you doing? I think you were, you had a little bit of a spat with your sister. But, anything you were doing at the end of this 2-hour mark?
Probably just enjoying the festivities at this point.
Okay. Sampling some of the moon cakes and, well, enjoying the raucous laughter of some of the guests and people that you've known personally for a very long time. You're grateful for it as you watch them. But now, as people shift around, go on to do different things, most people at this point are eating, but you also see quite a few people who have gathered in the southern part of the grounds here. It's a little bit away from all the, lantern light and such, who are, more quiet and speaking to each other over tea and biscuits and mooncakes and such, and all of their eyes seem to be staring up towards the moon. And on this year's first long night, the moon is exactly waned, half wax. I don't know what you call it, it's just a half moon, I guess. But yes, that is seemingly what's going on, as you also see Shinzo, every time I say Shinzo, I want to say Shinzo Abe, the old Japanese prime minister. But Shinzo is over there messing with stuff at his cart still, so if you guys want to check him out, he said that everything's 10% off today because of the festival. But yeah, if you guys have people you want to talk to, or, you want to check out the moon staring people, go right ahead. What do you do?
Light on. Shinzo said that he had something for you. A crossbow of sorts.
Oh, well, the one I picked up earlier it's quite a long time ago, but the one we got from the guard has been serving me quite well. I should probably pick that up.
Here, you can take this with you as well, and he's gonna give you that striking rune.
Oh, well, fancy that. I have to figure out which of my weapons to apply that to. I'll probably test out this crossbow first before I make a decision, though.
I trust your judgment either way.
Ah, that's certainly appreciated.
You head over to Shinzo. He already has the crossbow in hand, noticing your arrival. I noticed you took a liking to crossbowmanship, and just so happens that those of the nation of Huangat are quite proficient in their craft. This is a sukgung, an extremely efficient crossbow that you can hold in one hand, or if you aim with both hands, you could even strike a deadly shot to the head. It's that accurate.
Well, ain't that a pretty little thing? I'm surprised.
Yes,
Certainly seems to pack a lot more punch than the one that our guides come equipped with.
well, it's pretty much the exact same, even in one hand, as the one you have now that you have to always use in two hands. If you're interested, it's quite cheap today.
Oh, I'm most definitely interested. In fact, I will take it straight away.
Very well. And give yourself 7 silver back, because I can't make the percentage change myself.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you should find it in the little rune shop there.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, everything else is 10% off, so if you find anything you like, just let me know.
I'll definitely let you know. I'll just browse for a little for now.
Of course.
Azen Yuga, what do you think all those people are doing down there to the south?
There's one way
Oh?
to find out. It's quite easy than anything else.
You can take a
Okay.
look.
I'm gonna take a look.
Should we go and usher the other two down there and kind of investigate what's going on?
I was about to say I'm gonna usher Shugo to come join us.
As you all head down here, you find, yes, as I explained, this sort of more quiet part of the festivities. You see Bombing O sort of at the back of it, sort of in quiet contemplation as she stares up at the stars, and more pointedly the moon. You know this priest to be the priest of Daikitsu. And of course, there's many other familiar faces to speak to.
It almost looks like they're appreciating the moon.
Might I know something about this?
Yeah, you can roll me a society check if you want.
$14.
Well, you, well, you don't know a lot about, the specifics of it. You do know that this is, called Admiring the Moon in the, night festival here. Or the first long night festival. And it's basically you face the harvest moon, participate in moon cakes and tea while composing poetry to extol the moon's grace and beauty. So, elegant wordplay and evocative verse can win you accolades and praises. It's more of a eloquent sort of courtier culture sort of thing.
Oh, I can appreciate that very much.
This might be more your two's department than mine. She was gonna grab Baza and kind of push him towards the group.
Thousand and Yuga, you step up here. You see Elizabeth Kendor, your mentor, Yuga, and Bowsin, you step up next to Balmingo. Elizabeth Kendor sort of notices your arrival. Ah, Yuga. Welcome. Are you here to partake?
I think I would like that.
Good. You know, this extolling of the moon, it isn't just a performance art. It is also deeply rooted in one's wisdom. And of course, I have taught you much of being wise and studious in the matters of the more esoteric, the more, well, religious aspects of things, and this is, at the end of the day, a religious ceremony. I hope to see what you can add to it.
I only hope that what I can add is not something to be mocked or scorned.
Mocked or scorned, no. Critique, perhaps, but nothing would be so, well, no response would be so crass.
Then I will definitely participate.
Well, let me know, and I will judge your insights. Roll me a religion check.
Okay.
Bowsin, Balmingo sort of nods down to you. She's definitely more deep in concentration at this activity.
I won't bother her with questions, but I will watch what she's doing to see what I can understand.
She takes prayer beads in her hand, sort of closes her eyes and looks up at the moon intermittently, closes them back, sort of in quiet contemplation more than anything. She seems the most devoutly religious in this aspect, as, well, Daikitsu I believe is a god of the moon, or at least very close to the moon. You do see little moons on her shoulders. So I'd hope, that makes sense to me. Yuga, just flipping back to you real quick. You spend, well, the better course of 2 hours contemplating, thinking of verse, extolling the moon's presence, its brilliant sort of pale light that shines down upon your village every single night, sort of protecting it in a swath of, well, silvery light. And you come up with something that, well, it works. It certainly does. It won't win you any awards, but will certainly impress some people, especially one of your first attempts at it in your life. Bowsin, are you going to partake yourself?
Yes, I think I will. Religion check, right?
Yeah. It can also be performance if that's better for you.
It is not.
No. Alright. You yourself, coming from your point of view, you're more pragmatic, you're more pinpoint with your ideas about faith and religion. This is very vague, very like open-ended, the moon is this, the moon is that. It's harder for your more analytical mind that sort of brings threads together and sees how they connect to each other to come up with something so vague, so just generalized about the moon. You know, just the celestial body that is there all the time. It's nothing specific. It's nothing in depth, really. So you don't really come up with all that much, and nobody pays you too much mind what you have to extol about the moon.
Oh, that's all right.
However, listening to you was generally pleasant, I thought.
Well, thank you.
Not as much flowery words as the others. But that is sort of the activity you two are doing during this time. Shugo, as you leave them to it, what were you doing for the remainder of that 2 hours?
Honestly, Shugo's just observing and watching them as well. Just
Okay.
enjoying the evening and probably stealing any food that he can find this unattended.
Okay.
Our guardian, folks. Our guardian.
Tea,
They're
mooncakes.
giving them away.
Plenty of...
Must have some kind of a reason for doing this. Some sort of a deep goal, mission.
Well, Shugo, you do notice that it's not like, you know, big portions on anything. It's not like, you know, piles of bread, you know, hunks of meat or anything like that. It's actually just a lot of like little small desserts and teas. Seems even during this festival, the knowledge of the coming winter and the difficulties it might arise for the village is well on the minds of the showrunners here.
Well, Shugo would probably figure that out and be respectable. Or, yeah, he would respect that they don't have that much and he'll only sample some things.
Of course. With that being said, Liadon taking some time to test out the sokong. It's quite actually nice. It's very, you know, running out of pronouns. It's very nice. It's very nice crossbow. That's it. As the second hour, or the second 2-hour chunk passes, people are, you know, have had their sake, had their wine, or rice wine, have had, you know, time to look at the moon, and now the crowds shift towards the public stage at the center of town as, you know, a show is being prepared, and one that Yuga was also preparing for.
Yep, even if it's just in some kind of a small amount, you know.
Precisely. And there was also someone you saw a little bit about around town, not too much. You haven't. I think you have talked to them once. I just need to find them. I forget who they are or where they are. Let's see. Just in downtown. Hold on, let me look at the town map. That'll probably make it easier for me. Find this guy. 1 second. Ah, okay, that's who he is. Alright. Let me move myself back here. Where is it? Chapter 1, downtown. Alright, moving back. It is, Kazuma Ono, the Kitsune, showrunner, sort of, what would you call that? A director, yes, of, you know, bands and plays and such. He is gathering up the other performers. Mother Otis of the inn, the Thrice Blessed Inn, in fact, is one of the performers. And I believe we also had Yun Mong-un, the Woodcarvers Guild, and Dege, the halfling runner, business owner of the bathhouses. Yes. Lots of places, lots of people, lots of names. There's one more that's missing from the little gathering of performers there. Alright, well, yeah, says Kazuma. I trust you all have made your proper preparations for this performance. You remember this is one that the old governor partially disliked. It is a play about the, well, problems of corruption, especially in the old empire of, Lungwa, if you remember. Our late governor, well, I shouldn't say late governor, we don't know if he's dead or alive, but, well, I don't certainly miss him. Yes, it is a play about corruption, it is about community, it is about pulling together in hard times and not letting those in power take hold of the throat of a community. You've all read, of course, the papers, you've all practiced by yourselves all together.
Have we?
Well, Basil,
I was
you went.
participating in it leading up to this.
Yes, you
yeah.
was, and the other NPCs
Definitely.
also have been. Very well. How about we get this show started? Places, please. As the other performers head onto the stage and take their places, we're going to sort of,
I don't know where I'd go.
yeah, it's fine. We're just gonna sort of wash over this a little bit because I'm not gonna put on a whole play off the top of my
Yeah.
head. So,
I didn't exactly study my lines
for the purpose of
out
it,
of character.
Yuga, roll your performance check.
All right. Well, this one should be good because I had a whole bunch of low rolls. Oh, hey, I'll take it.
Not bad at all. As you take your place and the others take theirs, it is Yun Mong-un who plays as the, terrible governor of the town, and she's putting taxes on people for the most frivolous of things, and despite what she does, the town pulls together to both speak their voices and also aid those who are put aside by such exorbitant taxes, and it continues to the second act with many feuds over, well, rights and rulership, and it turns out that the corrupt officials have been raking in all the cash for themselves and not even spending those taxes that they have, levied against the populace for their own gains, and the town all of a sudden doesn't have enough money to prepare for winter. And in the third act, the town, desperately is pulling together what they can to survive for the winter, and there are some even enterprising folks that steal from the governor's manor to take what is rightfully the town's, what they have paid for, their survival in their form of taxes. And at the climax, the town is sent barreling through winter, with many of the community, though, surviving. And despite all of the terrible efforts, the corruption of the high official, the governor, the town makes it through. Not because of the governor, not because of those that rule, but because the community pulled together in a time of need. And that's basically it.
A very topically relevant play.
Yes, it certainly is. As people are clapping, a tear is brought to the eyes of some who have worked very hard coming up to this winter. And it definitely bolsters the spirits of the people. While it's not perfectly symmetrical with what's going on, it certainly matches up. Especially, well, in a region that needs to prepare for winter quite often. It's something that people would make plays about like that. Yes. With cheers and hollers, the night stretches past the official festival sort of hours, but people are still, partying and laughing and cavorting into the night. But your jobs are done. There are no more activities, there's nothing more, well, for you guys to do here. Is there anything else you want to do before you head back and sleep for the night this night? Anyone of you?
I am good.
I don't think I have anything.
Unless anybody wants to shop, now's the chance.
I checked the shop. There's nothing I want.
How am I on money? Let me see. I have coinage.
That you do.
Ooh.
I have some coinage if you need more for what you want.
There is something I want. Let me just double check my items. Okay, I should. Here we go. Yep, I actually wanted those glasses of sociability.
Yes, absolutely. It works for your character.
It looks just like the ones in my pictures.
So yeah, you can go ahead and buy that and just give yourself back 60 or 6 gold rather.
I wouldn't mind 60, but I'll take 6 if that works.
Yeah. It's 10%. Alright. As the first long night festival comes to a close this night, let me just check one more thing, because I believe I owe you guys a little bit of experience points for this. Let's see. First of all, the people's hope is bolstered. That increases by 1. Second, give yourselves 120 experience points. And finally, because you won the tatami mat competition, you get 1 reputation with Northridge. So that helps you bolster that up and help with a little bit of an imbalance and how people perceive you guys.
I can appreciate that for sure.
But yeah, with that, the first long night is at an end. Let's go back out. As you guys go to rest for the night. And awaken anew on another day within these strange walls, stuck with the only people you've known your whole life. So for the purpose of it, what are you guys doing this week? As you all gather back at the tea house.
I already have mine in mind. I'm going to spend the entire week, just like talking, interviewing people all over the village, making sure that I understand our village's history, brushing up on knowledge that I might have missed, listening to people's stories, and that reflects a retraining of my skill feat into additional lore for Willowshore lore.
Okay. That is easy enough. As you spend that time sort of restructuring your mind, especially now that you have been chosen as the interim governor. You might need to know a thing or two about your home's history. And current knowledge, in fact, too. So, that is you. What's everyone else doing?
I'd like to do some more research on the ghost wall. What skill was it again? Was it history, or was I allowed to use something like occultism?
Yeah, you can use occultism.
Awesome. I'll go ahead and roll that.
Occultism represents a more solo investigation where you're spending the week researching the nature of curses in general on your own. Either using your own collection or reference materials, or some of the small, personal libraries that people give you access to.
And it seems it goes fairly well.
It does seem so. In fact, that is a critical success.
Oh my
Ooh.
goodness.
Exactly, in fact, because of the pendant of the occult. It gets you 2 research points and gets you past the threshold for another sort of chunk of information here. You start to put together some information, start to sort of pull together that... How do I word this? You were thinking about what those Naparabo said, the ones who dwelt in the abandoned lumber camp. They seemed to believe in a paradise that waited them beyond the walls. But you don't think that there's some paradise, there's some location over there. It doesn't seem like it's a plane or anything like that. The truth must be something else entirely. There are others that worshipped something named Kugapti, and as you're researching it seems familiar to you. And you decide to focus everyone's efforts on that name, Kugapti, going forward. So, we're going to see if somebody else... Here, I'm just going to put this in chat so you guys know the full breadth of what you just learned here. We're going to see if anybody else can follow up on that and fill in some details about Kugapti. So, who's next?
The Aldon probably should have done research, but he realized he should probably prepare a little for ghosts. So I actually also need to retrain from strategic assessment to strategic repose.
Strategic riposte?
Strategic repose, which
Repose,
allows me to...
okay.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
allows
put
me
it in
to...
chat.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. This one.
Accidentally fighting undead and finally when you get position in the strength, you may choose to name it. That might be useful. It certainly might, actually. So, with you retraining and making sure you can deal with the undead, that leaves Shugo to follow up on this Kugapti lead.
Yes, I'm trying to think of what the best way to do that would, with the skills I have available to me.
Well, you do have knowledge of both the natural world, but also of Sangpo-chi, the sort of basically Buddhism, basically cycle of rebirth sort of belief system. And you know that the monastery beyond the wall was a Sangpo-chi shrine, so maybe you can apply some of that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I was also thinking about going up to the Great Willow and speaking with the spirit there.
That is precisely what the nature check would do.
And that is what I would like to start with.
Okay. So, roll me that nature check as you make your way up towards the Great Willow. As their only art of him has his fists in the air, because that's how he presents himself first to you. 26, okay. While you're not as knowledgeable as everyone else in the party, you certainly know how to speak to other spirits. And the Great Willow is able to fill in a little bit of information, a little bit of knowledge it has gained over the course of being stuck in this curse with you guys, actually. And so I can fill in some more as you guys get research 6. Almost there already, actually. The name Kugapti is associated in certain old texts with the Tansugi Monastery, and was the name of a powerful Nindoru fiend defeated hundreds of years ago by a hero named Tansui Jing. The old legend says Tansui Jing also perished in the battle, and that she reincarnated into the Tower Sugi tree that served as the focal point of the Tansugi Monastery. Perhaps more information about Kugapti, including the possibility that the curse might be associated with the fiend, still resides within the monastery's very walls. That's what you get. Powerful Nindoru. Do you guys know what Nindoru are?
I'm not familiar.
No.
Because Shugo's proficient in Shangpo Chi, he can roll a lore check on that.
Sure. Let me get my sheet back up.
You know from your own, Shangpo Chi lore that Nindoru are evil mortal souls that have been reincarnated multiple times and then wrenched from the cycle of souls and corrupted. They are forces of entropy and breakers of cycles. They, above all things, hate the cycle of rebirth, but also find breaking the cycle of rebirth, or reincarnation rather, I should say, to be the sweetest thing they can do. So they seek out the oldest souls they can find, souls that have been reincarnated time and time again, seeking to end their cycle once and for all. From a sort of a place of malice, feeding upon that soul.
With that information, and with what we heard from the Noprabo, whatever, it's very clearly that their god is related somehow, just based on that information alone, because they were seeking out old souls to feed to their god.
Correct.
This is infuriating.
Yes, it's literally everything. It's the opposite of the monastery and what the monastery stood for.
But that is how the week goes on. You gain a lot of information. And as you guys head back to the tea house at the end of the week to sort of collect your knowledge and see about your progress here. Let me find your tea house. Where is it? There it is. Your new chef has been hard at work in the back. Yes, here he is. But also, stepping into the tea house is a woman that you only met once. She was carrying around biscuits and other sweets at the festival, Mama Bao, who runs the little steamed bun shop near downtown Willowshore. She looks dejected as she enters the tea house and sort of sits at one of the bar stools.
Oh, welcome. You seem to look a little sad there. Perhaps a nice. Can I do anything for you?
Well, a soothing tea for the mind might help. What am I to do?
Well, perhaps telling me about it might be the first step. Liadon says as he begins making her a cup of tea.
As you put the tea in front of her, she sort of checks it, like spins it around, inspects it, the top of it. No hair. Good. She looks up at you.
I would hope that my tea has no hair, because it would certainly be an unusual circumstance if that were the case.
No, we
It's-
do have a cat.
Oh, is Yami back? I remember Yami.
Oh yes, Yummy is probably somewhere around here.
We saw the cat once. Well, I saw the cat.
She can be quite elusive. Ah, if only I had a guardian spirit at my, shop. I think it's been cursed. Or some malicious spirit is playing a trick on me.
What makes you think that?
I've begun to find, clumps of hair dangling from the ceiling. And I've swept them down. You know, maybe I thought there's a new draft, or someone's cat is shedding and bringing it into my shop. No, every time I clear it out, more and more is just stuck in the rafters and floating down onto people's food. Yes, at first I thought it was just some kami or children playing a prank on me. Until today, when one of my customers, they bit into one of my steamed buns, only to spit out clumps of hair mixed within the fillings. Ugh. I had to close things down immediately and apologize profusely. I don't know what to do. I don't know what it is. It can't be a kami. A kami doesn't have that power to implant such, hairs into my buns without me knowing. Sure, little hairs streaming on the ceiling, but nothing like that. It has to be something else.
The other
Wow.
sort of glances in Trugo's direction to see what he might have to say.
Well, is there any sort of lore I could roll for more information?
Both as well.
Could roll religion, but you're also not at the location yourselves.
I think
Be good to look.
I think the best course of action would be to go look ourselves.
Very
I would
well.
like that. Would you mind?
Yes. No, I wouldn't mind. I want this done. I just hope I'm not intruding on anything. I know you're very busy.
There have been other strange occurrences going on in town lately. It's worth looking into.
Word spread. It has led people to be distraught. It reduces your hope point by 1. Let's go and fix this before it gets any worse.
I would not want to deprive the town of your delicious buns.
You're right. This does remind me of that incident, or the reports of incidents about clumsy things happening. It obviously doesn't sound the same, but two different kinds of strange happenings like this.
It's unusual.
Well, the snakes
Very
were just there. I don't think it was anything to do with spirits.
The snakes were just there. Oh, we don't know that though.
Well, we saw them. They were kind of just there.
Well,
It wasn't-
yes, the snakes were there. We saw them there, but
It kind of made sense for them to want to go into the shed because. Liaodon, you explain this. You know that better.
I mean, don't you remember hearing, from various people around town about how folks were having just strange mishaps and accidents that would normally not be much of a concern, but there's been a lot of them? This was something that got brought up last week, actually.
Mm-hmm. You guys
Unless I
arrive
misremembering the details.
at small steamed bun shop here, though, after some time. And, well, she opens the doors for you, unlocks them for you. Well, have a look around to see what you can find. I'm sure there's much hair everywhere still. Ugh.
We'll definitely go in and start looking around.
Yeah.
And I'll be behind
same.
him, thinking about what we can do about this.
Same.
Alright. As you guys are looking around, roll a perception check. And Liadon, feel free to make this your investigation target. This hair mystery. Because you
That's
can add your
3
bonus to
success.
it. Yep, but either way, with Liadon investigating this and you all helping, you are able to confirm that all of the hair strands are all around the same length and are probably from the same head, being these black strands. So a singular person's hair. And as you're observing the hair itself, you could roll a medicine or society check. Maybe figure out a little bit more information if any of you is curious.
I am very curious, and I've probably seen a lot of people while helping at the clinic.
Of course.
Oh, well, I'm definitely curious too. Just need to
22.
figure out which bonuses apply to this. Give me a second.
So, with that, Liadon is able to easily tell that the hair is well maintained and undamaged, but appears to have been plucked from the scalp at the root and not cut with a blade. This, whatever this is, it must happen at night. Because all this hair is here when I arrive in the morning. Perhaps you should stay overnight. If it is some creature coming in here and doing this, maybe you'll catch it.
Perhaps we will.
Sounds like
Perhaps we should.
sounds like a good idea.
I'll give you the keys here and leave you to it. It's almost night right now, so just come by my home in the morning and tell me how things go. I live just up the road.
We will do so. Thank you.
She heads off. Day turns to night. Let's see. Let's do mystery, sure. As you guys settle in for the night, sort of reading into old tomes, augmenting your research on the Wall of Ghosts, it is nearly midnight when a slight chill is brought to the air. The room quickly becomes colder and darker almost in a way. And there is this shift at the back door before something quite strange and foreboding flits its way through that back door. First, you see these little strands, long strands, then becoming long strands that sort of like tentacles push their way phantasmically through the door. Following these long tendril-like strands of hair is a woman dressed in a long, flowing gown.
Oh.
Is it white?
It turns out, well, it doesn't remind you of what you saw, Yuga. You feel like this is a different situation. You didn't see long flowing hair on that other figure. As this figure sort of flits into the shop, it seems to pay you no mind at all. Its strands sort of curl towards the ceiling and seem to sort of implant strands behind themselves as they go here and there, plucking themselves from the roots of this woman's long locks of hair. And it just kind of ignores you guys as it floats around along the ceiling.
Can I make an occultism check, as this appears to be a haunt?
You absolutely can.
What can I learn?
You are able to identify this, yes, as a haunt. It is a ghostly woman. A reflection, perhaps? You're not sure if it has a mind of its own or if it's just one of those haunts that is more of a reflection or more of a remnant of a person. But you have to wonder what transpired to leave such a strange impression upon this small shop here. You also recognize that if disturbed, if spoken to or interacted with in any way, you could draw the ire of the creature. Then again, the only way to assuage this haunt would probably be to try to calm it down with diplomacy or convince the spirit to abandon the haunting via prayer with a religion check.
I'm good at both of these.
For now, though, it just slowly drifts across the ceiling, leaving strands of hair behind.
Yuga,
Boy.
you know about the history of this place, right? Is this maybe a ghost of somebody who died a long time ago or something?
Does this bring anything to mind from stories that I've heard?
Roll a Willowshore lore check.
23 Willowshore lore.
That's perfect enough. You recall an old story about a young woman's corpse that was found near Gourd Lake. The lake that's right here. Oh, wait, no, Gourd Lake is actually the one where the turtles are from, the kappas are from, east of town. She was found with every hair on her head plucked from her scalp. The woman was later identified as a local herbalist named Hinode Akiri. But no information is known to you about those circumstances. You have to wonder if that name would ring a bell in Mama Bao's mind.
It very well might. I wonder if I can still try to calm the ghost through prayer tonight.
You certainly might. And from your basic knowledge of haunts, if you bring up anything from their past, if you let it know that you know their name or their story, that would help.
Yeah, so I'm going to go into a big prayer. I'm going to pray for the soul of this woman. I'm going to try to recall the name that you'd mentioned.
Hinode Akiri.
My character would know it better, you know.
Or Akari, rather. But as soon as you clasp your hands together and begin a pretty common Pharasmite prayer for haunts like this, immediately she shrieks, sort of her voice low and guttural before it shrieks into a high-pitched scream as she rises up into the air, her hair growing larger, snaking through the shop as a whole, tangling through the rafters, weaving through the seats, all around you all, and attempting to constrict everyone. I need a reflex save as the whole shop is filled with tendrils and tangles of hair. Bowsing, give yourself a +1 bonus because your whole spider thing.
We got this, guys.
Okay, I get a 15 then.
15, okay. You are still entangled just like you would be on a spider's web. Yugamina, in fact,
boy.
you are restrained. Fortunately for
Considering
you,
what I
though-
was literally just doing, this actually makes sense.
Yeah, you don't even make a attempt to resist. Liaodon, you're able to snake through, and Shugo, you as well, are avoiding all of this. But then she rolls initiative. So I need everyone to roll initiative themselves, actually. Let me get you guys an initiative here. Alright, go ahead and roll your initiatives. Yuga, yours can certainly be religion to initiative.
I was just about to
Yeah,
ask.
I was about to ask if I could use occultism.
You absolutely can. Is you're sort of
Thank you.
subconsciously preparing yourself for a Haunt's assault. Hopefully quicker than it. In fact, two of you are, Liaodon and Yuga. You both have a chance to do something before those tendrils of hair begin constricting even further. So Liaodon, you know perhaps what can be done. You also know it's a ghost. You can attack it.
Given what we've been doing so far, it seems counterproductive. So I will try and calm the situation down as best as I can, anyhow.
Okay.
What would I best roll to try and calm the haunt?
Diplomacy.
Understood. I get my Pursue Elite bonus. Yay. I will reroll that.
Okay. $20. Unfortunately, as best you might try to calm the spirit town, to give you some time, to give Yuga some time to deal with it, you just can't. Unfortunately, so. And you can only make one disable check because disable a device is 2 actions. I know it's not a device, but disable a thing is 2 actions. You have one more action you can take. If anything.
What do I even do? Yeah.
You can aid. Remember, aid's a thing.
That is a good idea. I will aid Yuga.
Okay. So, when Yuga makes a religion, roll yours. With that being said, Yuga, technically, disable a device, I think, is a manipulate action, but for the purpose of this, we're going to ignore that because you already have your hands clasped and you are just uttering a prayer, so I'm gonna abstain from it being a manipulate action.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So religion then?
Yeah, you can roll your religion. Liaodon, you can roll yours as well, to see if you can add anything to it.
Heroic.
He also gets my clue in bonus.
I think you can only do one or the other because clue is also a reaction, or aid is a reaction itself.
Oh, okay.
And I think aid as an action will give you better benefits than clue in because you might critically succeed.
That's a good point. I will roll my religion and hope for the best.
Okay. Not the best, but it's not a critical failure. A 5 would be a critical failure, I believe. Yuga, you also get a +2 to that, making it a total of 28 because you would be making mention of Hinode Akiri's name and understand what terror it went through. And as you clasp your hands and pray for the soul of this creature, hoping that it has moved on or can find the will to move on, you're not sure if it has or not, it seems to get to it, and all of the hair in the room that's enwrapping everyone begins to slip away and sort of retract back to the woman, retracting so far as to leave her bald, as she was at the time of her death. She simply floats down, as if floating through the waters of Gourd Lake, falling deep within them. As she makes her way through the floor, The chill in the room abates. And Anodi Akiri's suffering, or at least this shard of her, is at an end. You've disabled the haunt. That is that.
Ooh.
And she was still beautiful.
Good, quick thinking there, Yuga.
Agreed. I do not think I could have handled that on my own.
We will need to ask more about this.
Was
don't
it
know if
really
Fiona
quick
would
thinking
know
or
anything.
stubbornness on my part?
It's an old story.
Give yourselves 60 experience points.
Yes, but what relation would that have to the bun shop here? Why this place in particular? Especially if she died so far away from here.
I would like to find out.
Well, you guys sort of sleep the rest of the night here, making sure that the haunt doesn't return. And in the morning, you hear a knock at the door and Mama Bao calling out, I don't have a separate set of keys, so you'll have to let me in.
Suga will
Gladly.
Yeah, Suga will leap up and move to open the door.
You guys open the door and she enters. She looks to the ceiling and realizes there's no hair to be found. Thank the Heavenly Court. Finally, it's over. What was that all about?
It was about... How should I say this? It was about a beautiful woman who had died in the past at Gourd Lake. I'm trying very hard to scroll. But, where was that?
A woman, what?
Hinode.
Hinode
Hinode
Akari.
Akari.
She goes pale for a moment.
It's okay. You can tell us anything.
Courts be damned, I knew this would come back to haunt our family.
I just want you to know, before you say anything, that right now this village just needs to come together to survive. You can tell us anything you need to, and it will not go beyond these walls.
It's an old tale. A few nights before that body was found, my grandfather, who is at rest now with the gods, came into a sudden windfall of money which he used to build the shop that stands here now. He told my parents that the money came from selling an old collection of wigs to a puppet maker in Say. Say being a town to your south that you guys have heard before.
Oh. Don't tell me that he did what I think he might have done.
I fear that is the truth. This hair on the ceiling, a woman found without her hair, it plucked from the roots. It can't be anything but my father's sin on this house. Terribly sorry.
Your father's actions do not reflect upon you, or they should not at the very least.
My grandfather, sorry.
Grandfather.
I promise. Now that I know this has come back to haunt us, you've put it together for me. I would be honored to atone for my grandfather's cruelty. I'll make it known to the whole town what he did, so that the shame upon my family can be wiped away by the grace of our people. If the shame is to be washed away, it cannot be held a secret.
If that is what you feel is best, I do not think we would be wise to punish you for your grandfather's sins.
Of course not.
There are still those in town who remember Hinode Akiri. She was an herbalist many people went to when they were sick, back in the early days of our town. I can't let them wonder for the rest of their lives what happened to the lovely young lady.
Does she have any family remaining in town?
Pretty sure she doesn't. She was just a hermit outside of town. She didn't live with us in the village. She was always alone. She didn't have any family. As far as we know, nobody visited her unless they were from Willowshore. I will make sure that her memory is honored. I will speak to everyone, and also it helps explain why there was hair in the buns.
It is strange that this happened now of all times. After so many years.
That
It's
is
a time of
true.
disruption. It would make sense that dirt is overturned and bones uncovered.
It must have to do with this curse we're all under. Must make the spirits unready or unrestful. Whatever it is, thank you dearly for what you've done. I must, well, go do some research of my own and make preparations for a shrine for this young lady.
We are happy to help.
She steps away to do what she needs to do. And the rest of the day, you guys realize that the word has spread. Not only that you helped defeat a haunt that was, well, screwing with a beloved steam bun shop, but also that the mystery of Hinode Akiri has finally been solved. So you get 2 hope points in total.
I love it.
Could have just killed the haunt and been on your way, and you wouldn't have helped as much. You also get a reputation with Northridge because it helps out a business here.
Yes.
But with that, you guys now have the week to figure out what you're doing, researching, or whatever that may be. So what will it be?
I want to research that name.
Kugapti?
I put it in my notes. Kugapti, yeah.
All
I'm
right.
curious about the hero, Tansui Jing.
Alrighty. As you guys take on these separate threads, you can, of course, use any of the 4, magic-based checks: nature, occultism, religion, arcana. If you have Sangpil Chi lore or Willowshore lore, you can use those as well.
Time to flex my new power.
So I can use occultism to research Kugapti?
Yes.
Okay, just double checking.
Mm-hmm.
I will roll it.
Start with your Bezin. That is a success. We're only on 6. That brings you up to 7, so no new direct insights, but you're, of course, helping bring everyone to that. You're having a bit of a harder time. You've still only learned a lot of this stuff recently about the town, and you're still reorganizing in your mind, so nothing comes up for you. Liadon, also, you can add your investigation +1 to it. Of course, this is part of your investigations. What are you looking into?
I was probably also just looking into Kugapti.
Okay.
That seems to be the biggest threat right now.
Mm-hmm. Yoda, your research brings you back to the Mother's Coil Wizard Tower, your father's Wizard Tower, where your sister has organized a lot of the lore that he has kept there, and it's one of the oldest and biggest libraries in town. Now you're finally able to use it. You read about something here. Before the Tansugi Monastery was abandoned, the monks performed daily rituals to ensure the health of the Sugi trees. But now that the place has been left to fall into ruin, the most likely source of the curse seems to be Kugapti's influence seeping into the region, particularly given the fact that the monastery appears to be hidden inside a cursed shroud of its own. By spending a little more time researching and drawing upon methods the Not Bow were attempting to utilize, you might even be able to develop a specialized ritual that might allow you passage to the Wall of Ghosts. You're sort of using that notebook that you got from Zudu the Zealot, the one that you fought at the wall that was trying to do their own ritual, and you're starting to put together, maybe you can make your own ritual to break the Wall of Ghosts, or at least allow you to pass through it. That gets you an 8 out of 10. That leaves Shugo.
Yep. And I'm going to focus on Senpachi lore this time. I'm going to try to maybe learn about a connection with the monastery and these fiends more, and like what they may have been doing to deal with them, and with the trees and whatnot.
Okay. Shugo. You are able to learn a little bit more as you delve deep into your knowledge about Sangpo-chi. Not enough to give you any new insights, but it is very nearly there. This ritual you begin to help develop, sort of using your own mystic knowledge of Sangpo-chi to add on to it. But it is the end of the week before you can complete your ritual here. Or at least complete the writing of the ritual. You haven't not able to been conducted just yet, of course. But as the week ends, you guys have returned to the Cerulean Tea House. Oops, Mom Bao's not here. Yami is seen in the rafters, sort of stalking about, and even over the past 3-4 weeks, it seems to have grown, even more than the very large cat that you had known, sort of a small tiger. Now it's sort of a medium-ish tiger-sized cat. Sort of leers down with those glowing yellow eyes at you all, and some of the guests are a little bit uncomfortable. Dege, the bathhouse owner, is sort of looking up at it. I know Yami has been around a long time, but what's with the growth spurt?
Can a cat grow in peace around here anymore?
I know a fair bit about animals, and I do know that cats don't normally do that.
I mean, it's been around for, 12 years, and all of a sudden it started to grow again? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Don't most of your children have a growth spurt around that age?
I wouldn't know. I haven't had the only person I could try it with in town is, Ludabama, and I don't think she's interested in me.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, anyway, you gonna do something about it? It's kind of freaking me out.
I could always ask.
Ask? What do you mean? Ask the cat?
Approach the cat.
You approach the cat, it sort of like curls its tail in on itself and looks at you slightly distrustfully, but with a strange sense of intelligence behind its eyes.
I crouched down a little as if I was talking to a small critter. And put a most pleasant, gentle smile and say, Hello, Yami. It's wonderful to see you. I wonder if you could explain to us why you've been growing so large.
Roll diplomacy check.
Like, the fact that even being allowed a roll is making me concerned. Oh, 20.
Finally, someone speaks to me like I'm not some beast. To be truthful, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I can talk to you. Maybe I never wanted to. But you're the first person who's regarded me with any sense of respect recently. Everyone else has been so afraid. Not sure why. It's because I've gotten bigger?
I think I understand why. And it's really not your fault. There are types of very large cats out in the wilderness that are very dangerous and aggressive.
I'm not one of those cats. I'm just a regular house cat. Like any other.
Slightly more talkative than they usually are. I'm rather relieved.
My kin don't see any reason to speak back to those who would treat them like an animal, a common one at that. But it seems as though with my long years, my wisdom has grown.
Are your kin other cats, or do you speak of someone else?
Other cats. I don't know any other kin of mine who regard themselves with such high standards as I do. It's a curiosity even to me, in fact, why I'm like this. I've been slowly observing and judging, and it feels like all of this sentience has been recent.
You have also gotten much larger lately, from what we can tell.
I've noticed. I can't scamper on the same roofs that I have before. I can't squeeze into the same hidey holes as well. And nobody wants to pick me up anymore.
I may have assumed you wouldn't want that. It was hard to tell.
Only if you do it the right way. Maybe I'll let you, but now you're far too small for me. You wouldn't be able to pick me up.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Kami would pick you up in this case.
I hate to admit it, but you're right.
So you're the new owners of this tavern, or this tea house. I wondered what happened to the old one. The one that took such a kind liking to me. The one that I accompanied. The one that respected me above all other humans.
I'm realizing I genuinely don't remember. Oh boy. Were we ever told?
You were told a name, yeah. I don't remember it either, but we can just say that
Yeah.
you say her name. Either way, if you're to be the owners of this place, I am to be its guardian. And thus, I must be respected as such.
Oh, right. She passed away almost a year ago, didn't she?
It seems that's something that happens. to you. It might even happen to me, but from what I can tell, I've lived far longer than many of the other cats around here.
You do have some unique qualities. Whether you live just longer or as long as you may, I wouldn't know. But your company is welcome.
Well, go about your business. I tire of speaking this guttural language.
But if you ever wish to speak,
I
I would
know
gladly
who
engage in
to
conversation with you.
talk to, yes. It just pushes aside and leaves you.
Well, Sugar, I'm afraid you're out of a job now.
Told you I was good with animals.
Are you saying the cat is going to protect the tea house instead of me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Kami very much said so that they were going to be the guardian of this place.
Yuga, before you were interrupted by this strange cat, you were coming to the group with a problem. In fact, one from your patron, Alizeth Candora. She has a problem that she wants everyone there to explain. Or everyone present so that she can explain it to everyone. Tomorrow.
That's right. So will you all come with me?
Of course.
Oh boy, more errands. Let's go.
I mean, we could have supported our governor.
The next day, you all arrive at her Fluvial Lady of Souls Cathedral, ran of course by Elizeth Kendor, a Alden-descended human, second-generation immigrant to Tianzia. And she has a problem. As you open up the black sort of cathedral doors of sort of basalt and like sort of darker colors, and meet her in the center where this lady's spiral sort of is ingrained in the floor, she sighs. An elderly villager recently. In fact, the night before last night, died. And as it was left in the room it was in, as the family was making arrangement for them, the corpse went missing, as if it just walked away on its own. You know what I suspect? That Yuosel Jin, the elven herbalist who mines the graveside manors, animated the body with some sort of alchemical concoction.
I don't think she did that.
I don't have any proof one way or the other, but that is a strange one, and she doesn't exactly agree with Pharasmite teachings. One must be wary of those who seek to take Pharasma's role in the process of life and death.
I know, but she's been nothing but kind. It's a little strange, yes.
Well, either way, you might want to have a look inside of the morgue. That's where the body was last seen here at the cathedral. Maybe you'll find something I didn't. One way or another, I would like this solved. We can't have corpses just getting up and walking away from their final burial.
I was meaning to speak with her about a matter anyway, so perhaps I can have a word with her as well after doing this.
Of course. Please, have a look in the morgue as she steps away to do other things.
Since I'm an alchemist, does that sound at all feasible to me? The
Roll
whole
crafting.
1 second.
Well, you do know that there are alchemical means of reanimation. But they require ingredients that she wouldn't be able to get while the town is cut off from the rest of the world.
That makes sense.
That's
I
not
share
to
that
say
with
she
Funny.
didn't already have those ingredients and is
That is
using
true.
this time
Well,
to take advantage
yes,
of the
but
situation.
who would use them on that if she already had them? I would rather, save them on something more important at this time.
Besides, if I understand my village history at all, the entire purpose of her methods was to prevent corpses walking away in the first place, and therefore the idea feels a little far-fetched, but I didn't want to just say that so freely.
I wonder if this is another South Bank versus Northridge kind of situation here.
Well,
Likely.
we're both on the south. I mean, they were around longer than the cathedral was, so... I don't really feel that way.
I thought it was on the north side for some reason. Forget that.
Yeah, it's over here to the left. The north side is where the Bones of the Forgotten are. Those are the people that did heinous crimes, and tradition states that they don't get a proper burial. Of course,
I remember now.
Lady Elizeth has tried to make people realize that not properly burying people who did heinous things probably leads to undead and ghosts and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
But you guys want to have a look in the morgue?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Best place to look for now.
All right, roll your perception checks. And of course, anytime, like, Leodon, anytime there's like a proper investigation going on, you can always add your +1. You don't need to tell me, oh, I changed my investigation. Yeah.
Understood.
Okay, I'm gonna... So 26 on mine, +2 if it has anything to do with locating objects or secret doors or hazards.
Nothing like that here. Everyone give yourselves a hero point, because you've done very good roleplay tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys spot, luckily enough, the elderly villager was not fully cleaned and prepared just yet, and it seems like they have left a set of shambling footprints leading to the north. Stepping alongside some of the edges of some of the rice paddies where the mud is most thick, leaving quite the easy path for you to follow. Well, not that easy. You need to make a survival check.
Well, Shugo can definitely attempt that. Gonna use a hero point.
Okay, Shugo. You are only able to follow the track to the Dawn Step Bridge, where it sort of goes cold for you.
But maybe I could pick it up from here?
Certainly might. You have survival?
I do.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, how does this work?
Hungry is great. Oh, what are we doing here?
I want to see how this works. Let's see. Cause an umbrella holding companion cloak to vanish. You get an umbrella over you. +1 bonus to survival checks.
Oh, yeah,
for the
okay.
hour.
Yeah, we can just add that
Cool.
+1 retroactively, so you don't need to drag it on your token or anything like that.
Oh yeah, let's just do that.
Mm,
Hero point.
Sure.
We can't both fail. We can both fail, in fact, actually.
Well, unfortunately, you're not able to tell all that much where it goes. At the very least, you're pretty sure it went to the other side of the bridge, somewhere in Northridge. But from there, at least the tracks go cold. There might be other ways of figuring this out, though. You put your minds together.
We should maybe figure out where they lived to begin with, or where their family was.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Okay.
Can we go back to the cathedral and get that information?
Yeah, you can just go back and forth, you know. Elizabeth Condor says they lived, on the South Ridge, or South Shore side, sort of, in one of the small farming sort of, plots out here. Nowhere special.
We can interview them.
You can. So, quickly roll me a diplomacy check as you go to the family and ask them about it.
On a roll.
Well... Oh, we don't know where he'd go on his own. I mean, he sometimes went to the tea house, didn't he? Well, yes, but why would he just get up out of his death and go for tea? Maybe he wanted to visit family somewhere in Northridge, or... They don't seem to be giving you anything that's concrete at all. They are as clueless as you are.
Well, at the very least, this tea seems to be good enough to die for. Yadun cracks an awkward grin.
The family just stares at you.
This was not the appropriate time for that joke.
Sorry.
Thank you for the information. Hopefully we can get to the bottom of this issue.
Please do. And you guys leave. Sort of back to square one.
Let's go check the tea house, just for the Hail Mary.
Sure, and I'll try to think of some other ideas on the way.
Alright. You guys arrive back at the tea house. Yami just sort of saunters by. There's not many people here today. Disappears out the back door.
She goes gonna head outside and kind of do a cursory look around the outside.
Roll me a perception check.
Love that.
Alright. You look around, and you sort of step through, looking at bushes and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, you find what seems to be a rotting corpse, sort of crouched down in a bush. It sort of shifts its head towards you, but doesn't do anything. It's sort of just crouched there. Not like crouching in ambush waiting for somebody, just like crouching and hiding in this bush out back.
Like trying to look through the windows of the tea house or something, or is he just hiding back here?
Nope, he has his head, or had his head down, just hiding, you know, crouched, almost fetal position in a crouch, hiding in it.
Hello?
Yeah.
I can see you in the bush. Can you hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Just sort of stares at you.
Shiko's gonna go back to like the back door of the tea house and kind of just yell for the others to come out here.
Okay, everyone can make their way out back.
Yep. Gonna do that.
He's gonna keep an eye on the guy to make sure he doesn't like run off though. It's maybe a long shot, Light On, but why don't you bring some tea or something?
Oh,
He looks quite spry for his age.
sure. I'll be right back. Leon returns back inside and prepares a nice cup of tea.
Thank you, Doran. Now, what brings you all the way out here?
Looking at the corpse, they strangely seem to have some pieces of branch with like little like fronds of leaves on them wrapped around its arms and legs.
Is that like a ceremony of some sort?
Not exactly,
like a
but
death
Yuga, it kind of reminds you of something. Roll a performance check.
Okay. 18.
You're reminded of some forms of dance that, people attach like shaky things, like to their arms and legs so they can make a lot of noise when they dance as well. Kind of looks like that.
Kind of does, yeah.
Then there's as you're thinking about that, there's a sort of a shuddering of the bushes nearby. Breaking through them is Yami. What's going on here?
Well, we just have a guest.
Well,
Elderly gentleman got up and walked out of the morgue to the tea house.
are you treating our guest properly?
It's difficult to communicate with him.
Hmm.
We were just getting him some tea.
Tea
Just in
wouldn't
case.
really do much for this fellow.
What do you suppose would? This is very out of the ordinary.
Well, it seems like he got up and didn't want to stay at rest. Who are we
Suppose not.
to stop them?
Well,
I lift up a finger and I'm about to say something, but kind of pause.
usually, if there's some sort of undead that rose on their own, that means they have some sort of unfinished business, or they haven't been acknowledged like the other spirit we just dealt with.
Well, it looks like this one has some business. Has some business dancing.
I could always check in with Mr. Ono.
Yuga. Maybe he just wants to have a last dance.
Under the moonlight, perhaps.
It does sound nice.
You get in the back of your mind, your faith in Pharasma is screaming
It
at the same
is.
time.
Oh yeah. This is very not standard.
Why don't we wait until the moonlight and see how well this one dances under the stars?
Yes,
I see no
and I
harm in
think
that.
I shall
He's not
stay
aggressive.
within 20 feet of this man at all times, as a chaperone of sorts.
I, for one, am curious. It'll only be a few hours. Take care of your guests. I'll take care of this one.
Thank you.
It's
Alright.
gonna be certainly awkward to just pretend he doesn't exist, but I'll do my best.
I will stay out here as well, Iron.
Fair enough. Thank you.
If this is an issue of wanting a dance, however, there is something that one of you could do for me.
What would that be?
Could you go visit the theater and check in with Kazuma Ono? Perhaps get him to agree to an impromptu musical performance, just maybe a musician or two. I'm sure he could get somebody to help out at my request.
Sure, should be easy enough.
Roll me a religion check, Yuga.
Are you sure we wish to make a large production of this?
No, a very quiet, private thing.
It is not private if you bring other people into it.
I'm just trying to think about how else we could do this. I don't want to hurt. It's clearly not this man's fault that he's suffering this horrible atrocity, but I'll let you speak now.
Flashes of your final demise reach your mind, Yuga. The mere thought that a Pharasmite cleric would make a corpse dance on stage disgusts
Not on
your
stage.
goddess.
Not on stage.
You have
a
her
private
minor
thing.
curse.
Like, I'm not talking about on stage. I'm talking about like a private thing, like away from like prying eyes, just outside somewhere out of sight, with maybe a musician to set the mood, just to like help maybe get this man some peace or something.
It's an awful thing for a Pharasmite cleric to suggest. You have her minor curse. -2 to your
This-
initiative rolls.
Maybe this idea isn't very good. I don't know. I definitely don't agree with like allowing the undead, but maybe don't do that. Maybe don't fetch somebody. Maybe I should. I should probably ask Pharasma more directly. I think I'm at a total loss about like how to actually do this responsibly.
You get the feeling that trying to figure it out is fine, but going along with this song and dance and having it dance around seems like it wasn't the right answer at all. At least in Pharasma's eyes. You feel like you can quickly atone for this in some way. But for now,
We're gonna recreate Old Yeller, aren't we?
you guys
Looking
wait
at the
until night.
looking at the bands, like the dance bands or whatever they are, do they look like they were put on recently?
It's difficult to tell. Probably, yeah. The fronds are all green and such. But you guys go about your business. There's not much else you can figure this out. Yuga spend some time in prayer and trying to figure this out.
And going over my teachings, trying to come up with everything I can think of that might help in situations like this.
As night falls and moonlight rises, Yami comes back around. Here we are, under the moonlight. I believe it's time to dance.
Maybe
Yami sits down, raises a paw, and like a puppet on strings, sort of waves the paw back and forth in a tempo-like rhythm. And as she does so, the zombie gets up and starts to dance along with that tempo, shaking the fronds as the cat bobs its head back and forth.
Yami, it's stop. I think it's one thing if the
What's wrong?
corpse
You
wanted
don't like a dance under the moonlight?
a dance under the moonlight is lovely, but it doesn't look like the corpse. Oh gosh, I cannot stand saying this. It looks more like you're trying to make it dance than allow it to do so of his own will.
Isn't it fun?
No.
Bring some life to those who are dead.
No.
It is important to let the dead move on.
It is,
Otherwise-
if it is his fate to dance, I say let him dance.
If you break the cycle, though, that is a problem.
You can roll a diplomacy or intimidation. Why not let me keep him? It's just one. It gets awfully lonely at night, and nobody will dance with me. They're all scared of me.
I
Can
would
I make a
dance with you in a
diplomacy check
heartbeat
to
if you would
encourage
only
this behavior?
ask.
You wouldn't dance all night, though.
Well,
This one will dance all night and all day for me. It's fun.
I feel like as the
Anytime I,
like as-
want.
the de facto person who runs the tea house, I also have to step in and say that I would rather not have a rotten dead body around the tea house. It seems bad for business.
Well, I'll
But
take him
also, if
somewhere
you-
else.
if you want to be treated with the respect you deserve, the respect of any other sentient, sapient being that you are, like we are, then you can't just toy with people like this. You can't toy with other people in this way. That's only going to encourage others to be more afraid of you. There are things you can do to integrate with others. We can go over all sorts of things with you. Just talk to us. Just talk to us.
Well, you are the owners of this tea house, and you have respected me. You haven't tried to chase me away, and your words do seem to come from the heart. Fine, I'll let him go. And with a wave of the paw, the corpse just collapses into the dirt.
Oh! I run over and try to catch him in vain. I totally fail.
I'm gonna look at the cat for a few moments, and I'll try to get a feeling. Is the cat responsible for this? Like a sense motive, like a very broad sense motive.
I mean, it seems quite obvious that the cat had full control over the zombie. Like, you don't need to make a check for that.
Okay.
You
Not
can
just happenstance that it came over here. Okay.
make a nature check on the cat, as you're realizing maybe it's not a normal house cat anymore.
Was it ever? I mean, I don't know.
I'm gonna hero point that.
It's also, you can also roll an Arcana check, if anybody is proficient in that. As all eyes are on the strange, yellow-eyed cat.
Can I make an occultism?
Not for them, though. That's
No.
not one of their recon knowledges.
That's fair.
Shugo, though, you think long and hard about it, about spirits, about animals, and what you know about them. Yami's no longer a normal cat. It must be now a Bakaneko. They come into existence when the life of a cat is extended beyond its normal lifespan, whether through incredible fortune, magic, or other means. Pure luck can also play a role. With each passing year, it grows in size, becomes more intelligent, and gains a bit of an affinity for magic. Eventually, they will be able to walk upright on their rear legs, pursue hobbies, and learn more languages. Despite their expanded intellect, though, many prefer to enjoy the first decades of their ascension, continuing their lives as usual, particularly oversized house cats. For some, they do so because they want to acquire knowledge of the world that they couldn't comprehend as cats, but for others, it's just a desire to live out their lives with their current families. Though it seems this one's old family they never got to live with. But the most important thing, they often enjoy dancing above all other pleasures and can't resist nodding their heads, tapping their paws, or swishing their tails in time to music. They often animate corpses simply to watch them dance. And you realize it doesn't come from a place of evil. It just comes from a place of a cat's simple, uncaring nature of the wills of man. It's simply a toy for them, this corpse. Something to dance.
That gives us something to work with. We will win this cat over.
It seems like you've already won it over, in one way or another. Well, I've given you your corpse back. I hope you're not going to try to kick me out over this or anything like that.
Why would we do that?
Just
I think it's a little charming.
no. Just promise that you don't
Wait,
take
what's
any. Bazin, just don't take any more corpses out, or else other people might come looking for you.
Well, if we're to strike a deal like that, you mustn't tell the Lady of the Cathedral about any of this. And you must make sure the townsfolk know that I am now one of them. And I am to be respected, not feared. And then I will never raise another corpse again. I will simply join you for your festivities and dance along with your things. I watched from afar the festival of the first night, or the first long night, but I couldn't join. That made me unhappy. That's why I created this undead for my amusement.
Why don't you accompany me to the shoe opera performance? You can stay at my side. I think you might enjoy it.
Perhaps. I'm not a dog to be leashed to your side. But,
I wasn't suggesting one.
yes, I will accompany
I was
you.
suggesting going together.
You have respected me, Hyuga. I will respect your wishes in return. Just so long as you don't tell anybody about this little episode of ours.
We've had several haunting lately. I can simply make a claim that it was yet another one.
Very well.
Lying isn't against Pharasma's tenets, is it?
No, and neither is acquiring a proper, end to undeadedness. You've done what you need to do in Pharasma's teachings. You don't need to enact punishment. That's more of Saren Ray's thing. Well, I mean, you can. Pharasma wouldn't look down on you for killing this cat, technically, but you don't need to now that the undead situation is finished. And I'm gonna take away the minor curse because you figured it out, so.
Yeah, I'm still definitely gonna just spend the night in prayer, though.
Yes, of course. Well, you all have a good night as it saunters away.
Yeah, same to you.
That was probably the most benign outcome to this.
I will take the corpse back to the cathedral, unless you all want to come with me.
You can help me take the corpse back to the cathedral.
I will follow at a distance, out of the range of smell.
Alright. In the night, where there are much fewer people to see you guys carrying a corpse. You arrive at the cathedral.
Joke time out of character. Ooh, I wonder if I have a spell that'll allow me to help it walk to make it easier to carry. I'm just kidding.
Elizabeth Candor is there waiting for you with the doors wide open. Hurry on, bring it inside before anybody sees. We don't want people to be frightened by walking corpses now, do we? What
I'm just glad
happened?
that we were able to handle this in the middle of the night. A haunting of sorts. It's been yet another one.
A haunting? So it did just get up on its own. No one was at fault.
There has been many odd goings in town lately. I'm sure you've heard about them.
One of you has to take a lead for a deception check.
Cool. So,
Is anyone proficient in that?
I...
Just say it wasn't the alchemist. You know that for sure.
Buzzin, your spider has the best deception in the party.
Oh,
I
come
can-
on.
It can aid in deception, but it can't do its own deception.
I'll have her aid.
What I can tell you for sure is that the alchemist was not involved. My understanding of her methods was that their intent to begin with was to prevent corpses from walking around in the first place. So any mistrust in her in that regard, I think, is extremely misfounded. And
She sort of squints her eyes at you. Roll a deception check. And Minako can aid. Pretty good roll, actually. In fact, she just squints her eyes at you. I fear you're leaving out details, but as a fellow member of the clergy, I must trust that this situation is between you and Pharasma. I'm just glad the corpse is back.
if I told you that it was a matter of preserving honor and saving face,
I would understand from a perspective of being the governor of this village and the peoples here. While our work is paramount, I do have to work around people's traditions and shames and fears from time to time. If you think the details are best left unsaid, so be it.
I do, and I also assure you that I am in contact with the individual responsible, and I wish to make it my personal project to make sure that such a thing doesn't happen with them again. I would very much appreciate your trust with this.
Well, it's almost a good thing that you're such a terrible liar. But, yes. As long as, everything is good. Everything is fine. She seems a little annoyed, but she
It's
still
understandable.
rummages in her things and pulls out some potions. I found this rune the other day. It might be extremely useful for what is to come. I've been keeping abreast a little bit of what you've been asking me about what we could expect, or what you could expect beyond the wall. And this rune might help you. How long with these potions? There's 4 persons and 4 people, or 4 potions and 4 people in the party. It's a lot of P's.
I like that.
So 1 for each.
Oh, yeah. Is that going in the party inventory?
You know how I feel about that.
I'm gonna take one of these potions myself.
Let's put the potions in the party inventory and let them sit there.
Oh,
Please
they're
drag
on
one
that.
to your sheet.
Might have to open your character sheet and then drag it onto the character sheet, since your tokens aren't out.
Oh, I didn't even know you could drag it to your token.
Oh, yeah.
I've been doing it to the sheet the entire time.
There we go. And also the disrupting rune. pulsing with positive energy.
Put that in the bag right away.
Quite useful. I'll figure out
You
how
can
to
deal with that.
get Shugo to use that.
Alright, so
If he uses that cloth, maybe I could weave it in.
you guys also gain 80 experience points. And as the day, heads on to the next week here, you guys gain 2 hope points. 1 because you figured it out. But I think that's a spirit event and that's a haunt event. So word spreads that there's something bad happening, so hero point goes down. But you gain 1 in total because Yami didn't run away. Like she might have if you guys got pissed at her. So now the town has a mascot. Other than Ugly Cute and other than Shugo. And other than
Which
Ibuki.
competition?
We now have a cute mascot. It's perfect.
What, Ugly Cute was cute. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, but not cute, just ugly cute. There's a difference.
Like one of those pugs.
Don't compare ugly cute to okay. I mean that is an
And
apt
kind
description.
of.
That makes me feel bad.
That's why people like pugs. They're ugly cute, so...
I feel so bad for them.
But, that being said, you guys have another week. Do what you wish. What are you doing this week? With your research almost completing.
I think we
I will
should
continue on that.
go. I think we should go to the Graveside Manors to finish this.
Yes, agreed.
Okay.
You know, I now know why there's a familiar ability to have them aid you with skills like lore.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep that in mind for the future.
So, who
Is
wants
there
to lead the skill check for this?
I would.
Okay.
I'll just go ahead and start. Ooh, baby, that's good.
Very good. That, essentially, though it still takes a week, so you guys will still have stuff to do for the week. That takes a week for you to go to Graveside Manors, speak to Yosojin, and she's able to fill in some details about more esoteric, more occult sort of things for your ritual. And you are able, finally, to complete your opening of the Wall of Ghosts ritual. I'm going to put it in Baozin's spellcasting sheet, in fact. Do I need a spellcasting entry for you for rituals? I think, no, I'll just try to...
It's a different tab.
Oh, right, yes, different tab. Yeah, put it in here, and then I'll show it to the party. You now have details. You need some rice, grain, and incense. You need 3 secondary casters, which don't need to be members of the party, because there are people in town that are quite proficient in some of these things. And, oh, actually, it's secondary deception diplomacy. That's interesting. Well, there's still plenty of people in town that you could find for secondary casters for those, if you don't have them. But yes, it allows you to open the Wall of Ghosts. The critical success and success stuff is not shown to you because that's secret. You haven't done it yet. You're not sure. It's sort of an experimental ritual.
I'm so glad Bowser's
fun.
an expert already.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I am an expert in occultism, so that's good. I feel very happy for investing in that skill now.
You now understand that you've learned everything about the curse that you can in town, and that more information surely lies beyond the Wall of Ghosts at the ruins of the Tansugi Monastery. Give yourselves 120 experience points for completing or at least putting together the ritual. And actually, because you did a critical success, I'm going to say... Oh, I need to be putting the calendar together. I need to expand it 2 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. We'll just go to there. Yeah, that's fine. You didn't take too much time during the week, maybe a couple of days to finally put it all together. So the rest of you don't have to take a whole week. You can, though, to do, like, food stuff and all that. It's up to you guys. What are you doing now that the ritual is complete?
I'm probably gonna help shore up the town's defenses and help out with security.
Okay. Let's go look at
Probably
what you...
just build some fortifications and such.
Yep, crafting works for that.
Wow.
Natural
There you
20.
We needed that.
You figure out, you've been, drawing up plans, strategies for putting it all together, and the guards really like it. They start putting up, little palisade walls here and there, and you shore up the town really nicely. You feel good about their security now, just a little bit more, so that's +2 to security.
Of course, the shut-in bookworm knows best how to build up defensive walls.
Yeah, the armchair historian.
Also gonna help with security stuff by
Okay.
helping train the guard, probably.
Yeah. Be athletics. And the dice gets you 22, easily a success. They're more well trained. You teach them things, techniques, and all of that. It's a little bit strange having a dragon teach humans how to fight, but it works. So 1 more security point.
Teach them how to fight like monsters, like himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be a practice dummy, basically.
All right. And Yuga, what were you doing during the week?
Going back to try to help with the farms, whether it's working in the fields myself or helping with the exchange of knowledge, farming lore.
Gathering some food. All right. Okay, 16, unfortunately, is just below what you need to succeed at the farming check. Actually, no. Because you guys went up to the expansion, the village expansion in the north, and fixed that up, you do get a +1 circumstance bonus, and the degree of success is increased by 1 degree.
Oh my gosh.
So critical success, because you guys went out of your way to do
Oh
that.
my gosh.
The town's been a lot more prepared with food, and it makes it a lot easier, so critical success. There we go. And just keep in mind, these pies, you're not trying to fill them up, necessarily. Don't worry about filling them up. Just think about, you're making a lot of preparations, you're feeling good about it. It's more just like, I can't have it just be like a number. It has to be a pie. Alright, but yeah, research is full. I'm just going to remove research because you're done with that.
Right now, I'm feeling like a quarter pie out of something in terms of security about the city.
I want a pie.
Alright, so...
I
Rhubarb.
guess during this time period, Shugo and Lighton will get those runes attached.
Yes, yeah. So Liadon is taking a Fiend Bane.
Yes, it was.
think I saw.
I had already attached that one, but we can give it to him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm probably also gonna swap my +1 from my whip to the new crossbow I got.
Okay. That's going to be 3.5 GP to transfer, but to put things on, it's free. Just transfers are different.
I
Jeez.
removed the coins.
Okay. You want to pay for the Bane being moved to then? That's 100 in total.
So 10
GP.
GP.
Yeah.
Sure.
1 platinum coin. So that is a +1 striking Sukung.
And Shugo will get the disrupting rune put on.
Or +1 striking Bane, Fiend Bane, Sukung. Oh, you're putting it on a whip. Okay, never mind.
Oh wait, excuse me. I was looking at the wrong thing. At the
Yeah.
wrong weapon open. Oops.
Did the name of the disrupting rune change? I'm not seeing it in the list.
Disrupting? Disrupting. I guess it did, yeah. But her item is still... Did you pull it from what she gave you? Like, is it in your inventory?
I actually just removed it because I was going to add it to the weapon.
Oh, what the fuck is disrupting?
Bummer.
Disrupting. Devitalizing. It is now.
Surprised they changed the name of that.
Yeah, it's now an extra 1d6 persistent vitality, so it's actually a lot better than base 1d6 positive. Well, I mean, kind of better, kind of worse sometimes.
Yeah, because it doesn't stack.
Mm-hmm. Well, then you just spread it around. Alright, so you guys are all geared up. Is there anything else you guys want to buy? Shinzo would be back in town with his shops here in the lake. Anything you want to get? Still has the skill shop items if anyone wants to take any of those.
Unfortunately, yeah. I would love a lifting belt, but I can't afford that.
Mm-hmm. Okay then. That being said, are you guys, I guess, heading towards the Wall of Ghosts and doing the ritual? Or
There's no reason why we wouldn't.
do you feel prepared for the ritual in terms of its secondary casters being deception, diplomacy, or intimidation?
I think we should try to find some people.
Okay.
I can do intimidation, but I don't think it would be good enough to handle a ritual, unfortunately.
And they've got a +9.
You do remember that Shu Matsuki, or Old Matsuki, is a good speaker.
But we're not really sure if this will be a dangerous ritual, so...
Hmm.
I could apply guidance to my +9.
I think you'll be fine to do diplomacy. Would guidance work on that, though, since there's a cast time of 1 day?
It would not. No. Doesn't work on one-day stuff.
Oh, three
Three secondary casters,
Right,
yes.
this part I missed. I was like, why do we need secondary casters? I'm right here. Oh yeah,
Well,
I would do it.
who do you think in town would be the most charismatic? Or at least intimidating?
My boss.
Probably one of the dock workers, if I had to guess.
Rajul Sumadra, the lead dock worker. They're not intimidating. Not really.
Dang. Ugly cute.
Ugly
how
Cute
is
doesn't have
Candora at any of these?
Elizeth. She has crafting, performance, and religion at +13.
Okay. So maybe not.
But Ugly Cute does have an intimidation of +9.
It's better than mine.
Ooh.
What about... Lydon, what about your sister? Is she good at anything?
Well, probably magic things mostly.
What about? Hear me out. Hear me out. What about Granny Who?
She is sort of the political player and very deceptive.
As a mayor...
Here's the thing, though. If she was good at lying, would Liao know?
No, his sister you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, Granny
She
Hugh.
was-
This is Granny Hugh, not his
Ah.
sister.
Shoot,
We're
I
on,
combined two people
we're
in
on
my
two
head.
different time tracks here, yeah.
Leon, why is your sister so old?
What?
She just looks that way. She aged very poorly. Don't think of it around here.
You can always gather information too, as diplomacy check or society check. I think Baozin can do.
That's a
You
good idea.
Actually
I'm gonna
get
do
some
that.
information rather than guessing.
I'm gonna do that very well.
You have some candidates, Baozin. You have Kazuma Ono, the director of the performance hall. He is certainly very charismatic. You have Old Matsuki, you have Granny Hugh, and you have Ugly Cute. Those are the 4 people in town that you think are the most charismatic, or in Ugly Cute's case, the most intimidating.
Granny Hugh, Ugly Cute.
If I got
Yeah.
Granny Hugh, I would probably have to get Old Matsuki as well.
Get them both. It's not ideal, but we can probably keep them safe if something bad happens.
Plus the fact you're cute at outside, you probably have some pretty good odds.
We may
As
just
much as
ask
I would-
Ugly Cute to watch the village.
Ugly Cute should stay here, and
Yeah, I'm with Shugo.
and Yuga can perform the other part of the ritual. Because you can double up on the secondary skill checks, right? Or can you not?
Yeah, you can. You can double up. Mhm.
Yes. I would prefer Ugly Cute stay here to protect the village. We don't know what will happen. If this will get rid of the wall, or what will happen.
I wonder who would be better though between me and Mr. Ono.
Well, remember, the primary checks are not diplomacy.
Right. The primary was going to be Bazin, I'm pretty sure.
Yep,
Yes.
occultism.
Yep, occultism.
Because
Okay.
I'm not an expert in religion.
For the purpose of it, you guys are going to Kazuma Ono, you're going to Shumatsuki and Granny Hugh. Yes?
Sure, let's do that.
Okay. So, as you gather them up, they agree to it, but they also want to have some of the guards come along. To protect the town's elders, of course. So a few guards, maybe 4 or 5, come along. Ugly Cute stays back to defend the town. He agrees to do it. And, well, you guys start to make your way on the next day, so I'm going to advance time one more, towards the Wall of Ghosts. Where is my big map for Willowshore Hidden Lands? There it is. All right. You know from your research that the road to enlightenment is basically the only way through the rugged terrain. So you imagine your best spot to break through is along the road to enlightenment, which stretches right here.
I am absolutely in agreement with this. Deviating from the road would be a terrible plan. We should not do it.
Yes, and while we do want to get this done, there's no reason to be in that big of a rush. Let's take the good path.
Let's give these creatures a fright, or at least convince them to get out of our way. Kazuma Ono comes along. This might be good material for my play. I don't usually get out into the hinterlands of our small village here. Neither do we, says Granny Hugh, gesturing towards old Matsuki. It's been a very long time since I have ventured this far beyond the walls. It was only a few years ago that I had went up to the monastery to see how things were going up there. But it had been abandoned for a long time. Let's get this done. So, you guys have the ritual in hand. step before the wall of ghosts as it rises like a tidal wave of mist and shapes sort of flitting through it, like they're trying to push against a plastic sort of a surface that, almost gives way but can't let them through. It's a terrifying sight, and the spell demands that you do it at night under the guise of the moon. So you arrive by nightfall. Oops, you guys can't see them. There we go. They're here. And looking at Baozin's ritual. I trust you guys have 60 gold pieces somewhere.
I have that on me.
Oh, okay.
Convenient. Wow.
So Baozin,
So-
if you want to be the one to spend this, you can minus 60.
Yeah, I'll do that.
We can redistribute some money later.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I'm so poor now.
So,
That was like most of my money.
you bought up all the rice grains and incense that you could in town. And, well, Baozin, let's start. Well, actually, no. Let's go with the secondary casters first, because theirs informs the primary casting of this.
Yep, it'll let me know whether or not to use the hero point.
Okay. So, first, Kazuma Ono. As you are preparing the ritual, they, as part of this, are there to coax the spirits aside, to push them aside, whether by means of force or bargaining or simply fooling them to turn their backs on, well, defending the wall of ghosts. Let's see. Performing the ritual. Alright. So, allow me to begin. Actually, let me check. What's the DC? Okay. Let's get on with things. Diplomacy check. He makes. DC is 18. He succeeds. Which doesn't do
It's so much
anything to
better
the
than me.
ritual. It doesn't hurt it, doesn't help it necessarily. Granny Hugh, she technically doesn't have stuff on her sheet, so we're just going to roll off of what Shumatsuki has. She rolls a total of 31 on her deception. She's pretty similar to him, but I'm just using his character sheet. That is a critical success. She'll give a +1 to your check, Baozin.
Awesome, thank you.
She uses her wiles and her ability to trick, coax many of the ghosts away, and Shumatsuki just coordinates with them. As an old man himself, he makes sure that none of the more, calm ghosts are going to be disrespected, and moves them aside as well. Now, no ghosts bar the way, only the wall itself. Baozin, as you read the final
Alright.
incantations, I need an occultism check.
Moment of truth.
22. Plus the extra one is a total of 23. That
Given
is...
that-
Hmm?
That is a success based
Mhm.
on Kazuma.
Yep.
I will take that.
Okay. As you are successful in casting the ritual, A grand ripple washes through the entire wall before you. The ripple pushes away swarming ghostly figures, pushing them deeper into the mists, and removes that strange dampening of sound that it has on the surrounding terrain. Before you, directly before you, swirling through the fog, there is a 10-foot radius tunnel that opens within the fog. You peer through and see an overgrown road winding into the foggy forest beyond. You know it as the Pilgrim's Path. The ritual has succeeded. Give yourselves 80 experience points.
I can't believe that actually worked.
I'm so
Oh,
relieved.
so you doubted me?
I did not doubt you. I just didn't know exactly how it would work. I thought the walls.
Good, because
might
I was really
no.
doubting myself there. I
Well,
am
you did
glad
pause
that
it.
worked.
I was thinking the whole entire wall would dissipate, though, not just a tunnel.
It's a large area. Magic
Shudo-
becomes weaker as it travels. That makes something that affects the whole wall. That is beyond anyone mortal, I would think.
Shudo's gonna turn to the village elders. You can't let anybody know about this yet. We need to make sure things are safe, and if people come rushing here to escape, it will only make things more complicated.
Oh, nobody's escaping through this. This is surrounding the monastery.
Yes, I doubt that this is allowing us to escape beyond the wall of mists around our entire region. This seems to be a second wall of its own right upon the Tansugi Monastery. But I don't think anyone will be brave enough to dare enter this place. Beyond you all, of course. I fear, though, once you step beyond the threshold, there will be no retreat before your work is done. You must be prepared.
We are certainly determined.
I don't see any other preparations we could make.
Could we just like buy some more stuff really quick if we wanted
Yeah,
to?
yeah. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you guys wanted to get? Anything on your minds?
Nothing I can think of.
More emergency potions.
You have quite a few.
I'm totally out of money, so I genuinely couldn't afford anything even if I wanted to.
I'll bring you back to Willow Shore proper so you can use the shops. You probably want the Hand of Spring for potions. He's developed a elixir of life. How can I activate this? How do I make this for sale? That's strange. Quantity?
Just increase the quantity, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's developed a little bit more potions now. Okay. Anything else you guys thinking about?
I think that's good.
I only just now found the store again, so just give me one moment.
Oh, okay.
please.
Good to have emergency supplies.
Yeah, I picked up a couple of elixirs of life. I have 2 healing potions on me. I have an antidote and anti-plague. Actually, I have a spare anti-plague if anybody doesn't have one and we want to be extra prepared.
I think I'm good.
All right, I'll move you guys back over. Of course, we're saying that you guys had bought this before you got here, so easy enough.
Yeah. We knew we were coming. We were planning.
That was a flashback.
Mm-hmm. Be safe. We'll be well defended. You've done much to, shore up our defenses, brought Ugly Cute back to us. The guards are at their best, thanks to you. We'll be able to hold things down for a couple of days, a week or 2.
Hopefully, it
Certainly,
doesn't take us that long.
it shouldn't. The monastery is only so big. Unless we
Very
get
well.
trapped.
Good luck. May the Heavenly Court guide your hands. As they leave. The tunnel through the fog yawns before you.
Well, are you all ready to do this?
Frankly, no. Could we just turn around and maybe hope someone, who's an actual hero, maybe comes by and does this?
We're the only
Wow,
ones.
I'm sure the villagers would love to come to the tea house owned by the one who refused the call of duty, who turned away from doing the thing that nobody else could.
Mm,
Perhaps we can find a new owner.
fine. Let's do this. Yes.
Trust in yourself. Trust in each other. We are strong, but we're not invincible. Watch each other's backs. Stay at each other's sides. We can get through this.
You step through the wall of ghosts.
Yep.
Very well. As you step through, you enter a mist-shrouded forest. One that winds and bends to a valley. There's a narrow pathway that stretches out before you. Though, there's something a little bit strange. Of course, the whole situation is strange, but this Pilgrim's Path doesn't look like it should. You notice this before the fog behind you swirls and cuts off your retreat, leaving you stranded in this fog-shrouded woodland. The terrain, though, seems all wrong. The road appears to wind through a small forested valley rather than forested hills. It's different than what it should be, this path, because some of you may have even taken this path. Shugo especially would know what it's like. If roll a Willow Shore lore, religion, or society, perhaps to figure out a little bit extra here.
Willow Shore.
I'm gonna turn off some of the music and just leave the ambiance.
Oh. $14.
Give me just a second. I'm rolling as well.
I unfortunately don't have any of those skills.
25. Okay. Leodon. The terrain matches where the Tansugi Monastery ruins stood, though no sign of the monastery is actually apparent. You realize that this forest is nearly 1,000 years younger than you expect, from an era well before the monastery was built. In addition, the spiritual atmosphere of the forest feels off. The sensation of being watched from the foggy undergrowth, the lack of any animal calls or even a soft breeze, and a pervasive feeling of impending doom make for an unnerving atmosphere all around. Anything more than 60 feet away is concealed by the fog. It's hard to see further than that. And of course, moving through the thick forests surrounding the path would be difficult terrain. And leave you, well, in a bit of danger if you were to be ambushed amongst the trees. You don't get the feeling it's a safe bet to step into the undergrowth with all those somethings watching you.
You should just follow the road. It'll get us to the monastery eventually, right?
Following the road is the only safe idea.
Well, shall we? She goes, let's start moving along the
Yes.
road.
Yep, let's do it.
He's being very careful, watching the trees to their sides.
Okay, what are your exploration activities going forward? By the way, I hate how they did the walls on this map. I don't see why they did this fucking shit with these trees. It's unnecessary. Here. I need to fix that because it's literally causing, like, lag. Because it's trying to figure out your positions for every single one of these goddamn trees. These people. Sometimes I wonder. Let me fix this real quick.
Well, in my case, as a Tengu cleric with a very high wisdom, search is pretty much the best thing for me to do in almost all cases, unless I have something very specific to do. So I'm going to keep on that.
Just fix this real quick. Best I can do here. Sorry, guys.
Clarifying, Tengu cleric with scavenger's search, which might be helpful sometimes. It might.
Laggy as all hell. I just have to put up a regular wall though, because, yeah. Almost there. Should have done this before session, but I forgot about it. Alright, let me just delete some of these crappy walls real quick. Delete, delete, delete. Oops, didn't want to delete that one. And for the purpose of things, I'm gonna reset the fog of war. There we go. That's better. Alright, okay, we're back. So, as you guys are heading through the forest. Your exploration activities. Sorry,
I'm searching.
Yeah, you're searching. Roll your perception check. For any hazards, threats, anything like that.
I will scout.
Okay, +1 to initiatives.
My
Good.
skills
Also
aren't good for much else.
I'm just preemptively adding on that scavenger is searched, so unapply it if it does not apply to anything.
And remember,
I'm.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
oh, sorry, what are you gonna say?
I'm searching too, and obviously pursuing my lead as I need.
Yep. Okay.
Excuse me.
So, go ahead and step on forward. As you guys are checking your surroundings, making sure nothing's going to leap out at you. I want this to look darker though. How about that? Yeah. It's better. As you guys are stepping into a larger clearing in the road here, you notice a grisly scene. The dirt trail comes to an end at a 50-foot wide clearing here. A smaller trail leads into the woods to the north, while at its center sits a large slab of cracked, crumbling stone. A woman's corpse lies atop the slab, her chest a gaping, gory hole, and her left arm extended, as if pointing towards the northern path. Curling coils of fog writhe up from the hole in the corpse's chest, slithering up and merging into the fog that surrounds it. Under the body, deep furrows on the upper surface of the stone seem to form a word, although it's impossible to be sure what it says when viewed from the side.
Shugo's gonna cautiously move up to the stone.
Okay. Start moving up to it.
How high is this stone? Is it pretty low to the ground, or is it kind of high up?
It's about 3 feet up.
Is this anyone I've seen before?
It is nobody... Roll a Willowshore lore check. Well.
Oh my
okay.
gosh, I actually rolled below, like above a 7 on something today.
Well, the corpse on the rock, judging by a quick glance, appears only recently dead, with the blood pooled in the crater of its chest not yet clotted. You notice that their heart is missing from that crater in their chest. And Yuga, with your critical success, you recognize that this must be Tan Sui Jing, the legendary heroine said to have defeated Kugapti nearly 1,000 years ago, at the site where the monastery was built.
Don't like that.
That can't be right. She certainly didn't die like this.
Yeah, she... Well, I mean, she died in the battle, didn't she?
Something's distorted and wrong about this. And with your perception
Heroic way?
checks as well, observing that tendril of fog that rises out of her chest, you can spot distorted and silently screaming humanoid faces rising up from the hole before they fade and merge with the surrounding fog. And you, Shugo, as you clamber onto the rock, you can see that there is a word carved in the stone, but it's written in a language you don't understand, Shugo.
There's something written here, but maybe one of you can read it. I don't know what it is.
I'm gonna take a look. What languages do I know? Ooh, fun. I forgot what some of these are. Take a look at my character sheet, Corvus. Aeon.
Oh, that's an old one. You don't have the language. Somebody in the party does, though.
Okay.
Which language?
Under the body, there's language. There's
Yeah.
a word. We can't understand it.
I think from the side, Liadon would understand it as Aklo.
Oh, well, step aside.
So you clamber up there, carved into the stone, with these sort of like scratchy, claw-like, straight lines, is Kugapti.
What?
Wait. This almost feels similar to that ritual that they were trying to do before, doesn't it? Maybe?
Yes, it does. It very much does.
If you'd like to look further, roll medicine check. You got.
Will do. I like that. 24.
Judging by the position of the hand, the outstretched arm, it seems to be Tensui Jing's dying attempt to provide a trail for her would-be avengers. And you could tell that the grievous wound's source was a large, clawed hand that ripped through her chest to gouge out her heart. There are splatters of blood that lead away from the corpse to the northeast.
Should we do anything for her body now, or should we just keep going? I'm concerned that this fog is seemingly coming from her.
I
If so,
would
why not
certainly
put the body
like
to rest?
to do that.
As you're pondering things, the sort of slight foggy wisps of wind as they sort of go through the trees seem to shift for a moment and speak. Find the seed.
Find the seed.
Let's keep going for now. We can come back.
I agree with you, actually. It pains me to leave her like this, but I think we must.
She was reincarnated as a tree. The seed might have something to do with it.
Come, let's go.
Shugo starts going north.
Okay.
Leaving the body as it is.
If we have time afterward, then we can tend to the body.
Not sure how
Stepping
far I
through.
can move at a time. So.
It's fine. You can get 30 feet at a time. Around that. You guys are stepping through the dark-shrouded, mist-shrouded forest. You eventually make it to a clearing, where a bundle of trees has fallen to make what seems to be some sort of nest here. It lies on a rotting mound in this forest clearing. Blood splatters several of the decaying timbers, and an opening in the center emits a foul, rotten stink.
I wonder if this is where that creature is.
Possibly.
She goes on and carefully approach, trying to be quiet, to try to get a look inside.
Okay.
I don't know if I can cross over this stuff or not.
As you get closer, peering over the logs, you notice something is shifting back and forth, down and back up. One wing stretches up. You notice a massive vulture seemingly picking and feasting at a still heart, or a still beating heart, in fact. it doesn't seem to be making any headway into the heart, but it's still tearing and snarling at it. But as soon as you approach, clambering onto some of the trees there, the vulture's head looks up, its beak splattered with blood, snarling. You leave me to my meal, lest you find yourselves added to this fine meal of mine.
She goes and look to the heart. Is it like a giant heart? Like, how big is it?
It's a human's heart.
Fresh?
Fresh as anything.
We cannot do that.
You will die with her. It's ripped open. And with that, it sort of rises wings into the air, and as soon as it stops touching the heart sort of bubbles and bursts out, not completely bursting, it's still there, but out from its sort of flesh bursts these 3 faces of these cackling demons. But the faces of these seem to be the grief-stricken face of that woman that you found earlier, all sort of separated in distorted forms of her, bursting out from her own heart. But as these creatures descend upon you all, we're going to have to end today's session there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
You guys have met these guys before?
And they were
We
terrible.
But yes, I'm glad we have made some progress here. Done plenty of downtime, and that's good too. Of course, it sort of sets a stage for all of this, you know. It sets, you know, meaning behind it and the people you're protecting and all that. But yeah, I hope you guys had a good time tonight.
Indeed.
I had a lot of fun.
So, we shall pick things up next week at the same time, same place on here, YouTube. But somebody else streams here. Yuga, you stream on.
I do. Hi there, I'm Chris Coble, the player of Yuga, the Tengu Cleric, and I do stream on Twitch at Twitch TV Chris Coble on Wednesday and Saturday, 6 p.m. Central. So come by sometime, it'll be nice and fun.
Alrighty. So, thank you all for watching. If you like maps, you can go to my Patreon, patreon.com/KoboDM. You'll find plenty of maps, many of them. Some for Season of Ghosts. I need to catch up on Season of Ghosts maps though, so expect new ones by the end of the week. That being said, thank you all for watching, and we'll see y'all next time. See y'all.
See ya.
Bye.